I may have been gone for a moment, but I have been cooking. Football Manager have released the latest update, and what I've been doing behind the scenes is creating some crazy tactics. I've got a plug and play that I'm sharing with you guys today. It's a 4-2-3-1, which got some fantastic results. At Brighton, actually, we won the Champions League. Spoiler alert. We won the Champions League in the second season. Of course, we're not in the Champions League in the first season, but we got some fantastic results with some other teams as well. I didn't just test it at Brighton. Now, a little message for why I've been away for a little while. I've got a new job. I'm an intern scout at a real football club. I'm a real scout at a real football club, Dynamo Tbilisi, and a lot of that came from my Football Manager video. So this isn't just a win for me, it's a win for all of us. All of us have been putting in work. Some of you guys have motivated me. Why not just do it in real life? Why not do it in real life? And well, I'm here. And some more good news as well. Within my third week, I did get Scout of the Week. So again, this is just a win for all of us. It's not just me. I just want to say thank you guys as well. I want to say thank you guys, but enough of that talk. Let's look at this 4-2-3-1 plug and play because it is perfect. So I am back. The scouting role won't get in the way of my YouTube videos. One of the reasons why I've been away for a little bit of time is just so I can get my qualifications out the way, make sure I'm well qualified for the job, and making sure that I know what I'm talking about when, well, handing in some scout reports. But let's look at some results, shall we? I did use Real Betis at first in the La Liga Santander. We've only played 3 games, but that is the second season. Now, if I go to the first season, we finished second. We won 32 out of the 38 games. So did Real Madrid, but Real Madrid only lost 2 games, whereas we lost 4. We lost too many. We had 98 points on the scoreboard, on the table. Real Madrid had 198 points. I know, as crazy as it sounds, it just weren't enough to win the league. But we finished second. We finished second, which is a great result for Real Betis, who are, they're predicted to finish nowhere near the top of the table. But what I like doing, which you will see later with the Brighton results as well, that I'm actually trying to carry it on a little bit. So I'm not just doing the one season. I want to see how it actually evolves into the next or the second season to see if there's any tweaks to be made, making sure I'm giving you guys the best information possible. So we've just kicked off the second season where we beat Real Valladolid 5-1. We beat Cadiz 3-0, but disappointingly, we lost 1-0 to Almeria at home. It's a game that we should never have lost. As you can see, XG's at 2, their XG's at 0.21. They didn't actually create any great scoring opportunities. The goalkeeper was man of the match. It tells you everything you need to know about that game. It was a freak result, but it was enough to tell me that, you know what, this tactic can keep going in the second season. So then I moved to Mexico, a league that I've never managed in. I selected Atlas, who I believe in real life they just won the league. There was a crazy story in Mexico about it, so I'm pretty sure they were like one of the teams, the outsiders, who just managed to win the league. But you can see in Football Manager 2023 as well, their media prediction, they are predicted to finish 12th. They're not actually one of the best teams or one of the better teams in Mexico. There's only about 18 teams in Mexico. They are predicted to finish 12th. So again, it goes to show you that this team and this tactic are ready and capable to overperform. We did win the league. We played 17. We won 15 out of the 17 games, but I believe it splits into 2. So there's an opening stage, there's a closing stage as well. It's all confusing, but the opening stage, we did win that. We played 17 and we won 14, and then in the closing stage, you can see that we played 17 and we won 15. Some great results, but not only are we just scoring and outperforming, and we're attacking well, we're defending well, of course, possession wise as well, we're seeing a lot of the ball, we're completing a lot of dribbles, we're also completing a lot of tackles. It's a well-rounded tactic. It's just not one of those. When you see the tactics and the instructions, it is high pressing, and we've got the trigger press on much more often. But also when you're actually watching the games, you're going to see some nice football involved. It's not just OP for OP's sake. We're actually seeing some good football being played out as well. So I thought, let me go to another league that I haven't managed in, which is Iceland. Now, I've selected this team, Starjnan. I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce this team's name, and I don't even want to butcher it even more, but they are predicted to finish 6th. We won the league once again, the Icelandic Premier League. We played 22, we won 15, drawing 4, losing 3 of those games. Again, media prediction was to finish 6th, which is literally mid-table because there's only 12 teams in this league. Looking at the team stats, we had the most shots for, we scored the most. For the shots against, we come in second place. Most possession, we come in second. So again, we are seeing a lot of the ball. The tackle numbers have dropped down slightly, but then looking at the dribbles completed, we are on top, and we've got the most clean sheet and the fewest conceded. But now let's go to the results that we're all waiting for. Brighton. So with Brighton, this was actually my offline save whilst I was doing my scouting stuff. I needed a save to keep my mind going, keep it ticking in Football Manager. And as you can see in the Champions League, this is the second season, by the way, Brighton, we won the Champions League 2-1 in extra time. If we look at the match momentum, I mean, it slightly favors Real Madrid, but at the same time, we had the better XG. Though we did score a penalty, we won the game. We won the game, and Brighton's first Champions League title ever. You can see in the English Premier League as well, we came in second, just 5 points behind Manchester City. But again, this is the second season. What happened in the first season? We won the league. We played 38, we won 28, we drew 7, losing 3, we scored 80, but we had the best defense in the league. We only conceded 24 goals, getting 91 points, absolutely dominated the league. Look at Manchester City, 74 points, we're on 91, absolutely dominated the league, and that's in the first season. Now, some of you guys are probably thinking, who did you sign, RDF? Who did you sign? Because we did make signings. Like I said, this is my offline save. Now, if I go to the first season and if I sort this out by the actual date, so these 3 here were in the first season. We bought Thuram, who was going to be first team to play alongside Casado. What a beast of a midfielder. That's a nice partnership there. If I go back again, Gonzalo Estevez, who was a backup to Lamptey. I needed someone that was similar to Lamptey, so I found Gonzalo Estevez, who wasn't, I mean, if we're looking at the first season, he's not going to play a lot of games. He did start 12 actually. Wow. Wowza, wowza, wowza. But we also bought Alex Scott from Bristol, who is a wonder kid in Football Manager, a very, very good player this year, or this update, I should say, and he's doing really well. Manchester City currently want him, but this is in the second season. We have actually started the third season. I'll quickly go through those results at the moment as well. But when we're looking at the first season signings, we've only signed 3, Alex Scott, Estevez, Thuram, and Alex Scott came in January, so actually we didn't strengthen the team that much, did we? We didn't buy great players, and as you can see with the transfer prices as well, what I'm doing is not spending over £20 million. I'm trying to keep up the smart recruitment. But enough of that. Let me just quickly look at the third season results. So here we're currently in the third season, but we are 4th. We're struggling a little bit, just a little bit. And if I go to our transfers, who have we signed this year? Nobody. I believe it's the goalkeeper, actually. We bought this goalkeeper, Amari Benjamin, on a free as well. And again, you can see we're not spending over £20 million. Look at the average age. The oldest player in this team actually is 25. Now, that might be a reason why we're currently sitting 4th and not challenging for the league title. But should we break down this tactic and see why? Come on, step into my tactical office. So this is the tactic. Now, I did say it's a plug and play. Technically, it is a plug and play. All you got to do is download it. There's going to be 3 tactics, and you've got 3 tactical slots, and you just load the home one, you load the away one, and there's a third one when you're playing the elite teams away from home. Actually, I should have showed you some results playing some of the elite teams away from home in the first season. So we went to Tottenham away from home in the first season. We beat them 4-1. We drew against Liverpool 1-1. We went to the Etihad when we beat Manchester City 3-2 away from home. We beat Liverpool at home as well in the FA Cup. We went to Manchester United, Old Trafford. We won 1-0 there. We got a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford as well. We beat Arsenal at home. Did we beat them at the Emirates? Yes, we did. We beat them 2-1 at the Emirates. We beat Manchester City. The only big team actually that we lost to was Chelsea at home in the first season. We even went to Anfield and we got a 1-0 win there as well. So away from home is actually very, very good. So those are the results against the big teams in the first season. So again, if that's a question, how does it do against the big teams? That's the result. That's the result. That's the answer. But here, let's go back to the tactic now, where you can see the 4-2-3-1. It's a bit asymmetric. It's my favorite shape, if I'm totally honest with you. I can't use a 4-2-3-1 where it's like this. I'm not sure what it is, but especially with my high pressing, when the opponents have the ball and they're high pressing, if you want to press more in a 4-4-2 shape, then this is the best way to go, where now your advanced playmaker can actually jump up ahead alongside the pressing forward, and you've got your 2 strikers or your 2 attacking players trying to press the opponent's 2 central defenders, rather than sometimes when it's like that, you've got your pressing forward trying to close down 1 or the 2 central defenders. You can't choose one because he's in the middle between them. So if the ball goes out to the left, he's just going to close down the left one, and then if it goes down to the right, is just going to close down the right one. Whereas setting it up like this, if the ball goes to the left, then the pressing forward is going to press him. And then if the ball goes out to the right, then we've got the advanced playmaker ready to press as well. So that's why I like this sort of asymmetric 4-2-3-1 shape. Now, the team instructions, balanced mentality, attacking whips set to fairly narrow. So we are trying to focus play more so in the central areas when we're building up play, not necessarily attacking down the middle, but when we're trying to build up, we're trying to get the ball into those central areas. You will notice later that we are using a playmaker approach play. We are looking to pass the ball into space, encourage some forward runs with our passing. The passing directness is on shorter, tempo on higher, and we are also going to run at the defense, try and take on the opponents, and that way we can also win some free kicks, set piece, set piece, set piece. In transition, when possession has been lost, we are going to counter press, try and win the ball back instantly, and when possession has been won, we are looking to counter attack. The goalkeeper in possession, dish the ball quickly, don't hold on to it, get it out to your defenders and roll it out to them as well. Lastly, out of possession, we are operating in a high press, try and win the ball back in the, you kind of say this, the last areas, the attacking third of the opponent's side, or our side, sorry, their defensive third, our attacking third, and then we are using a standard defense line. Trigger presses are much more often, prevent the short goalkeeper distribution and get stuck in. Now, for the away version, when we're away to the elite teams, you will see things are slightly different now. The mentality is on defensive. This is a mentality that I would have strongly advised people not to use this mentality, but we are at FM23 now and things are slightly different. Defensive mentality doesn't exactly mean you're now defensive football, not exactly, because you still got player roles and you still got other instructions like out of possession. How could you defensively play football if you're high pressing? That's not defensive football. So the mentality, what you're doing is getting certain behaviors to be a little bit more cautious. For example, taking your time more, so there's more time wasted naturally. You can see the time wasting is on sometimes, and just little things like that. You take your time, you're wasting time a little bit, you're being a bit more cautious even in possession. Now, attacking width is still set to fairly narrow. The passing directness has changed to slightly more direct, which is slightly new for me actually. So admittedly, in the first season where you saw all those results, the passing was on slightly shorter, and then in the second season where we won the Champions League, the passing was on slightly more direct when playing against the away team. So you pick, you choose. What would you rather do? Beat Liverpool at Anfield, beat Manchester City at the Etihad, or go and win the Champions League? I'm not sure if it works the exact way like that, but that's what happened for me. So just to be a bit more transparent. In the final third, we are shooting onside and hitting early crosses. In transition, we're still distributing the ball quickly, but now we're mixing it. We're not just rolling it out. Actually, long kicks. Sometimes the goalkeeper is just going to kick it long over the defense line. Our striker runs onto it. Boom, goal. I know it's not pretty, but it's effective. Out of possession, we are using a lower defensive line, whereas everything else is the same. And then lastly, we've got just the plug and play away tactic where things are slightly the same. You can see the defensive mentality, but the passing is still on slightly shorter like the home version. And also when distributing it, we're looking to get the ball to the fullbacks rather than mixing it up, because we don't necessarily want to kick the ball long against teams that we still expected to beat away from home, and then we're just going to throw it long to the fullbacks, and that is the only change. Now it's time for the player roles in goal. We do have a super keeper tackling hard. We have a left back and wing back on support. He's going to stay wider and tackle harder, same too as the right back. And then at the back, the two central defenders, we've got two ball playing defenders, dribble more, close down more and tackle harder. In defensive midfield, we have a ball winning midfielder on defend. He has no added instructions. The Roman playmaker, he's going to be dribbling more and tackling harder. And now the attacking four players. The left winger is the inside forward of the attack, sitting more narrow, being involved with play in essential areas, but also keeping us defensively solid as well, even in possession, because if we lose the ball, we need to be in close proximity in order to counter press effectively. The inverted winger is going to be crossing less often, sitting more narrow, attacking hard, and we're using an advanced playmaker on attack. Actually, we've got two playmakers, which probably complements when we're looking to build up in essential areas. And then lastly, we have a pressing forward. The advanced playmaker is tackling harder. Now for the away versions, both away versions, the roles are the same as each other, but it's slightly different than the home version. So up top, we're a bit more direct now. The pressing forward becomes a pressing forward on attack, and then the attacking midfielder is now a shadow striker rather than a playmaker. We didn't necessarily need a playmaker when playing against those elite teams. It was difficult to get that playmaker involved in the game. So instead, why not have a shadow striker just making runs and just troubling the opposition's back line rather than getting a playmaker looking to operate in between the lines and keep possession for us, because that's not actually what we want to do away from home. We want to punish teams, punish, and get that result. And that there wraps up the 3 tactics. But of course, some of you guys want to see some of the goals, so I'm just going to whip up some goals that I saved when, well, playing. So this is us beating West Brom 5-0 away from home. Here's Thuram on the ball, the playmaker. He's just going to run at them. Look at him running. He drives towards the goal. What a finish. What a beautiful finish. Here's Casado with the ball, plays it back to Riedel, a nice central defender actually, and Nacho to Thuram, to Ferguson. I like Ferguson in this game, dropping deep and connecting play. Look at him, dropping deep, connecting play, and that allows Matoma to go and score the 2nd goal of the game. Here's West Brom trying to break, but we are going to catch him. Here's Thuram actually intercepting the ball. Riedel steps out, plays it to Matoma. Matoma plays it back to the left back. So you can see some nice football involved as well. We're a little patient. I wouldn't say we're exactly direct, looking to go forward all the time, hammering, attack. Actually, sometimes we could be a bit patient, play the ball backwards in order to go forwards, and then we scored a lovely goal. Staying at West Brom because we obviously smashed them. Here's Parisi, an Italian left back, I believe. Here's Diang, Lamptey gets involved, intercepts, plays it into Matoma. Here's the break. Now look at the counter attack. They are completely disorganized, and what a goal from Fergie. This is us at Mexico. So here's Tijuana trying to build up from the back, and we're just going to press them. Here's the pressing forward, actually, Furch. He was a very good player for us. Here's Marquise. He plays it out wide to Flores, and it's a weird finish. It was a weird finish, but it went in nonetheless. Crazy enough, from that goal kick, Flores went and scored again. So here's them. They just kicked off. They're going to try and play. We're going to press them. Here's Rocha. He wins the ball back. Here comes the counter-attack. Furch, the striker, again, dropping deep. I love the striker's positioning because he's not often on the shoulder of defenders. Actually, sometimes he drops deep, which is a pressing forward. And I think a lot of people believe our pressing forward is almost similar to advanced forward. They like to play on the shoulder and get in behind all the time, attack. But actually, a pressing forward sometimes, or most of the time, is actually a supportive striker. He likes to support the team, and the one way he does support the team is by working hard for the team and pressing down the opponents. And lastly, I'm not going to show you all 6 goals, but here is the, I'm not sure what goal this is. This is like the 5th one now. Again, pressing from high up. Here's Lozano. He's going to run into the box. He's going to put the ball into the box. Furch gets the rebound and scores. Actually, that goal, it didn't tickle my fancy. So we will watch one more goal. Here's Nervo. Here's Marquise now on the ball. Plays it out wide to Dominguez. He's out wide, the left back. He's going to play it down the line to Marquez. Look, here comes the patient for when I put the ball into Furch. Now, one big tip that I know some of you probably locked off the video a long time ago, but having a big striker, really helps this tactic out a lot. I cannot stress this. At Real Betis, I had Beto. I signed him from Udinese. In the first season, there was a couple. William Jose, I can't believe the strikers there at the first season, but there were physical strikers and they will outscore the little and fast strikers. They will really outscore them. At Brighton, we had Ferguson, who was good in the air. He doesn't have the agility like an advanced forward to get in behind constantly, but he was a pressing forward and he scored a lot of goals. He was good in the air. And Furch, as you can see here at Atlas as well, how we can put the ball into the box, but also the hold-up play is very important for him to be physical, and he's got to be strong, can hold up the ball and a bit of jump and reach. Now, it doesn't mean that all of these attributes have to be on 20. No, just make sure they're good enough. Make sure he can hold up the ball at least. Maybe he can win at least 25 or 35% of his aerial duels. That is good enough. It doesn't necessarily have to win every single aerial duel. But unfortunately, that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm enjoying being back. I love talking to you guys. I cannot wait for the next video as well. We've got more videos about players. Also, I will be reviewing your tactics as well. I've got a lot of tactics to review, and those videos are going to be fun to do. So I'll see you guys soon. Very soon, by the way, because I owe you guys a lot of videos. We probably double upload on some days as well. So I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. God bless. Peace out. Thank you for your patience.